This is It Was a Thing on TV.
Spoiler number one is Dr. Lee frowns. It stinks.
What is going on? What is going on?
Episode 107, Submission 1087. A Case of Spring Fever. A Case of Spring Fever was a short industrial film produced by the Jam Handy organization for Chevrolet back in 1940 and was featured on Mystery Science Theater 3000, specifically the 12th episode of Season 10, Squirm, which aired on August 1st, 1999 on the Sci-Fi Channel.
The not too distant future, somewhere in
Facebook for the topic we're covering this week for the second episode.
Yep. I believe it was a very close decision. 4-2.
Yeah. So those two people, they said, no, we want to hear about Springs. We don't want to hear about Tim Conway as a Private Eye. Although we do have East Crawford Private Eye lined up for February, so.
So, yeah. We will get to hear about Tim Conway's adventures in crime busting sooner or later, much later. But now we're going to talk about the Jam Handy organization. Who or what is a Jam Handy?
Well, first,
that sounds dirty.
It does. Well, we got to talk about the person behind it himself. It was actually a person named Henry Jameson Handy, but he was known by the nickname of Jam because in his middle name, short for Jameson, Jam Handy.
Right.
So he was a true Renaissance man, this Jam Handy. He was, according to Truth by Consensus Wikipedia, an American Olympic breaststroke swimmer, water polo player, and founder of the Jam Handy organization. A producer of commercially sponsored motion pictures, slide films, later known as film strips, trade shows, industrial theater, and multimedia training aids. He is credited as the first person to imagine distance learning. So if you really think about it, Jam Handy was kind of like the pioneer of what would eventually become Zoom, if you think about it.
Man, this is turning into a Jam Handy film. It's like, we would not be here. I would not be able to send my kid to school in his jammers without jammers. Jam Handy.
Now, as a swimmer, Handy introduced a number of new swimming strokes to Americans, such as the Australian crawl. He would often wake up early to devise new strokes to give him an edge over the other swimmers. And so swimming led to him getting a bronze at the 1904 Olympics in St. Louis, Missouri. 20 years later, he was part of the Illinois Athletic Club water polo team at the 1924 Olympics in Paris, France, as he broke the record of the longest period of time between his first and last Olympic competition. That team won bronze at that Olympics, and Handy swam almost every day until the last few months of his life.
So, if you want to live a long and happy life, swim.
Yes. In 1965, Handy was inducted into the International Swimming Hall of Fame, and in 1977, he was inducted into the USA Water Polo Hall of Fame.
There's a Water Polo Hall of Fame?
Yeah, apparently it says it's located in Irvine, California, as it is a Hall of Fame dedicated to honoring players, coaches, and officials who have contributed greatly to the game of water polo in the United States.
I didn't know so many people did that. Last time, it's like the last experience I had with water polo was 1997, Governor's School.
So how did Jam Handy get involved into the world of industrial films? Well, after World War I, the organization he created, the Jam Handy organization, was contacted by the Chicago-Detroit branch of Bray Productions, which was the dominant animation studio in the U.S. during the years of World War I, to create films for the auto industry, which was the largest private client of Bray Productions. General Motors selected Handy's organization to produce short training films as well as other training and promotional materials. One such film was 1940's Hired, a training film for sales managers at Chevrolet dealerships. Now, the film was eventually featured as 2 parts on Mystery Science Theater 3000 in the episodes Bride of the Monster and maybe the greatest episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000. Maybe this could be a future installment in and of itself.
I'm putting it on the list.
Manos, the Hands of Fate.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because, I mean, after all, Ted Mosby mentioned it on How I Met Your Mother, so...
Yep.
And also, the Jam Handy organization produced the first animated version of what was then the new Christmas story, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, for a retailer, Montgomery Ward, and directed by the great Max Fleischer.
Oh, boy.
Handy also produced films for other companies and for schools, and he's estimated to have produced over 7,000 films for the armed services during World War II. Handy was noted for taking only a 1% profit on the films, while he could have taken as much as 7%. He was noted for never having a desk at work. Instead of using any available workplace, Handy's suits didn't have pockets, as he thought they were a waste of time.
Well, look who's laughing now, huh?
But we get to what was the other short that was featured on Mystery Science Theater 3000, A Case of Spring Fever. Now, as I mentioned, this was featured on what was the next to last episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000 on the Sci-Fi Channel, Squirm, which was the 12th episode of Season 10, which would be on August 1st, 1999 it aired. So a week before the final episode, which was Diabolic. So we have A Case of Spring Fever, a 1940 short industrial film produced by the Jam Handy organization for Chevrolet. And what is it about? Well, it's in the title, A Case of Spring Fever. It's about the importance of springs.
As in...
Yeah. Boing. So, oh my goodness, so much to say about this. So
it's like 8 minutes, and yet there's so much to unpack.
Yeah. So let's start, shall we? So we have a woman on the phone talking to somebody, and she's talking about that her husband, Gilbert, can't join his friends at their golf game because he's busy right now preparing their sofa.
So he's preparing his sofa, which apparently people used to do back in the day.
I've never seen anyone repair a sofa in my life.
Neither have I. Apparently that's something you did back in 1940. You repaired a sofa, which means you were looking at the undercarriage at a box spring set. Gilbert was doing just that, and he was... Oh, God, he was getting frustrated.
He was getting so angry at trying to fix the sofa for his wife. He's like, you know what? All these springs I'm seeing right here, you know what? Forget it. I don't want to see another spring again for as long as I live. And then he's going to regret this because, oh my God.
Oh, no.
We're going to play the clip.
Yeah, play the clip.
Springs. I hope I never see another spring as long as I live.
So, you never want to see another spring, eh? Okay, mister, I'll fix it so you get that wish.
Who are you?
The name's Coily. Coily the Spring Spike, they call me. I heard your wish, and, well, you're going to get it. No more springs for you from now on. No springs. No springs.
He's greeted by a living animated spring called Coily the Spring Sprite. And he heard Gilbert's wish, and he said, well, you don't want to see another spring again? Well, I'm going to grant you your wish. You'll never see another spring again from now on. And so now all the springs are gone from the sofa. And oh my
And
goodness.
everything else.
Everything else. And Gilbert takes out his watch.
This is when you start to sense that something's amiss.
Yes. And it doesn't work. It no longer works. And what happens? Coily pops up and says to Gilbert, no springs! and then Gilbert's at first like, oh, that's amusing. And then he goes to fix his blinds. And his blinds don't work because no springs! Oh. And then he goes to work his rotary telephone.
Which, come on, rotary telephone? Who even has one nowadays? Come on.
Yeah, but he tries. It was 1940. He's trying to rotate the dial, and it doesn't go all the way.
No springs!
And then the doors open, and Coily tells Gilbert, "Oh, the door. You might want to fix that." But oh no, the door doesn't close.
No springs!
No springs. No springs. Oh.
He's got to get the fixed, so he's got to go somewhere, so he's got to take his car, which, because this is a Jam Handy film, is a Chevrolet.
Oh my goodness, yeah. You gotta work in that sponsor plug.
Gotta get that GM money, son.
You
Oh, by
notice
the
this-
way, your Chevy door doesn't open, or it doesn't close.
No, and the seat's crooked, and you know why the seat's crooked?
Same reason why the door don't close and the glove compartment stays open. No springs! Yeah, his gas pedal doesn't work.
Oh no! No, Chico,
It's not going anywhere.
Chico, how's he gonna get to the golf? How's Gilbert gonna get to the golf game when he doesn't have a gas pedal? Walk.
No, he's got to drive, but he can't drive because he has no gas pedal. And you know why he doesn't have any gas pedals?
Why doesn't he have any gas pedal?
No springs!
No springs. So now Gilbert's like, Coily, I'm sorry. I never should have said I don't want to see another spring again. Listen, Coily, is there anything I can do to make it up to you? And so Coily was like, well, I'm gonna take back your wish, but don't ever do this again. Don't ever wish you'll never see another spring again. So he's magically transported back to the sofa, underneath the sofa, as the springs come back. And then he notices, oh, my watch is now working fine. Everything's working good. You know what? I'm going to call my friends and say, you know what, guys, the sofa's fixed. We're going to play a game of golf.
And this turns into a giant lecture on the importance of springs, elasticity, and spring action in general.
Oh, yeah. So we have Gilbert at golf game with his friends talking about the importance of the friction of, like, the swing and stuff, just boring everybody. Like, oh, my God, this guy, all he's talking about is how the friction of the golf club and the springs. Oh, this is so annoying.
The springy head of his golf club and how he's got a nice shot because he's got a spring in his golf club and a spring in his golf club head. And now he's talking about the springs that make airplanes go. Listen, when I'm in an airplane, I'm not thinking about the springs in the landing gear. I'm thinking, get me the hell off this airplane, all right?
Yeah, especially in 1940.
Hey, this big ass flying metal bird in the sky. I don't know where it's taking me. I don't know what's going on. This is 1940. I'm stupid.
Yeah. I don't know how this plane works. All I'm thinking about is just get me to wherever I need to go, damn it. I mean, it didn't help Amelia Earhart any, but I mean, still.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about the golf game. We talked about the airplane. And then there's the drive back home, which, as it turns out, takes place inside a Chevy car.
What? A Chevy car?
A Chevy car.
Oh.
With springs, no doubt, because the door works.
Oh, the door.
And the gas pedal works.
Oh.
And not only that, the suspension works because you can hardly feel a thing. But then again, this is a 1940 car. The suspension is probably shit.
Yeah.
But hey, if you have a car with springs, you can handle that.
It's all about that spring action, baby.
Oh, but yes. Notice when we're talking about springs, Greg and me, we make it exciting. We make it sexy. We dress it up a bit.
Oh, yes.
Gilbert doesn't dress it up a bit, does he?
No. He just bores the hell out of all his friends. Like, Gilbert, why the hell are you talking about these springs so much? We're all taking a nap here. Like, okay, this is 1940. There's not a such thing as the internet. We can't go on our phones while you talk about springs. I mean, come on.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's like I'm in my car. I just want to go home. I'm not thinking about springs. I just want to go home.
Yeah, they just want to get back home. They don't want to hear about springs.
But hey, we get to look at those classic wire wheels from Chevy.
Oh yeah, makes me want to go get a set of Chevy tires right now.
Oh yeah.
That's what Jam Handy does. He gives that subliminal advertising to these people in the 1940s. They're like, go buy a Chevrolet car.
Yeah. So they get home, and one of his golfing buddies says,
You and your springs, I hope I never see another...
Stop! Don't say it. Don't ever wish anything like that as long as you live.
almost immediately getting out of the car, I wish that I will be happy if I never see another. Gilbert says, my dude, you need to cut that shit out right now.
Yeah, because you never know what
in 1940s parlance.
Yeah, because you never know what's going to happen, and then Coily pops up, looks at Gilbert, and then laughs as the short comes to an end.
Yeah, this is one of those. Now, I just saw the MST3K version.
Yeah,
there's actually the actual version of the short, because if I'm not mistaken, it's in the public domain.
Yes, most of Jam Handy's shorts are in the public domain.
Now, I'm thinking to myself, this is the strangest thing I have ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot.
Yeah, geez.
It's like, because I'm looking at the MST3K version. I was like, okay, how can we make this already strange ass film even stranger?
I mean, this was made for Mystery Science Theater 3000.
It was. It's sort of a testament to both the inanity of this film and the sort of fan worship that this ended up being the last short ever shown on MST3K, or at least until the Netflix reboot, which I have not yet seen, which I should be kicking myself now.
Yeah, I don't even know if they had a short on the Netflix version. Hold on a second. No, there was no short. So technically, this is for now the last short on Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Case of Spring Beaver. As weird as this is, it does have a bit of a legacy to it. Now, I remember, I think it was when the hell did, the Kentucky Fried Movie came out. I think it was 1976. One of the educational shorts was Zinc Oxide and You.
Whether we know it or not, chemicals play an important and ever-increasing role in our daily lives. One of the most widely used and oldest chemical compounds is zinc oxide. This policeman, this farmer, and this housewife don't realize it, but they all depend on zinc oxide in their daily lives.
But how do I use zinc oxide?
If it weren't for zinc oxide, you wouldn't have that bar of soap. The dish towels you use every day. Your toaster. That brassiere you're wearing. Your kitchen sink. Those curtain rods. The shelves in your refrigerator. Metal hooks. The heat control on your stove. The safety catch on your son's rifle. That fire extinguisher. The emergency brake on your car. All brakes. That blanket. How about sand? Yes, sand.
Oh, my God.
Your husband's pacemaker. Your artificial limbs. Yes, zinc oxide at work in our daily lives. Watch for Science Series number 7, Rebuilding Your Home.
It was a housewife wondering all of the things that you could do with zinc oxide.
And wasn't there also a Simpsons bit about a world without zinc?
I'm glad you asked that question.
Yeah, that was a great moment on The Simpsons. A world without zinc. You know what? Screw it. We're going to play it right here.
Screw it. Play the clip.
Hey, what gives?
You said you wanted to live in a world without zinc, Jimmy. Well, now your car has no battery.
But I promised Betty I'd pick her up by 6. I better give her a call.
Sorry, Jimmy. Without zinc for the rotary mechanism, there are no telephones.
Dear God, what have I done?
Oh, think again, Jimmy. You see, the firing pin in your gun was made of, zinc.
Come back, Zinc! Come back! Come back! Zinc! Come back! Zinc! 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 What? Oh, it was all a dream. Thank goodness I still live in a world of telephones, car batteries, handguns, and many things made of zinc.
Gross, he's picking his nose.
If anyone wants to learn more about zinc, they're welcome to stay. We can talk about anything. I'll do your homework for you.
Yeah, the only thing missing out of those two were the sort of half-hearted humdrum, here, let me wow you with my knowledge of springs.
Yeah. But the guy laughing at the poor little boy about the zinc. He was very much a coily type.
Oh yeah, he was coily to the core.
But yeah, the legacy of the Jam Handy organization is a very great one. You can find many of their shorts that are in the public domain on the Internet Archive at archive.org. And of course, because Hired Part 2 was in the MST3K episode of Man of the Hands of Fate, if you get the 2-disc special edition of the MST3K version of Manos the Hands of Fate that Shout Factory put out back in 2011, there is a special bonus feature about the Jam Handy organization featured on the DVD.
Really? The just all 7,000 of the strips they did? Or just the really good ones?
Well, it's a documentary about the legacy of the Jam Handy organization.
Okay.
So it's a very fun little bonus feature, and I kind of find it funny that they included a bonus feature about the company behind the short in the episode of MST3K with all this stuff about Manos the Hands of Fate. And also on the DVD, if you're very confused by just watching part 2 of Hired, they also included as a bonus feature the first part of the short of Hired. So you can just watch that and then watch part 2.
And I'm sure some enterprising sort has put the 2 bits together and put it on YouTube somewhere.
Yes, they have.
Yes!
So go on YouTube, search MST3K Hired, and you'll find a video called MST3K Hired Double Feature Plus. And it also includes the host segment, Hired the Musical, which...
What?
Oh, yes. Hired the Musical. Yeah, it's...
We're gonna have to come back. We're gonna have to come back to this.
You think we should put Hired in itself as an entry on the list?
Yes!
Oh,
yes, I do! Put it on the list right now.
Yeah, we might have to make this a double feature with Manos the Hands of Fate whenever we do it. Hired.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, what can I say except this short pretty much sums up the epitome of MST3K in its heyday.
Oh, yeah, it definitely does. I mean, you have an educational short, just a
bonkers educational short.
A bonkers educational short about a guy wishing he never wants to see another spring again, and then getting tortured by a living, breathing spring who grants him his wish.
Yeah, and then?
He learns the error of his ways. He gets the wish taken back, and then he proceeds to annoy the ever-loving crap out of all his friends at a golf game.
And then, 60 years later, he's given the business by 2 robots and a guy in a green jumpsuit.
Yep. Because in 1999, a case of spring fever was just a thing on TV. You know what else can give you a spring in your step?
That would be, it was a thing on TV.com?
Yes, it is. You can find all 106 previous episodes to this on the website, and there you'll find more about the show, more about us, and we're featured everywhere on social media. We're on the Tumblrs, the Instagrams, the Facebooks, the Jack Dorsey's Hate Boxes, and the YouTubes.
Do not forget the YouTubes.
Yes, because as we know, the internet is a series of tubes.
Yes. And of course, let's not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, share, because sharing is caring. And don't forget, all of our episodes are available wherever fine podcasts can be streamed. 5 stars only. We go through too much crap for you to just give us 4, okay?
Yeah,
5 stars only.
Yeah, but next week we'll be back here. We'll have 2 more topics for you, and we'll be back here next week with another thing on TV. Thanks for listening, everybody.
See you soon.
Wow!
No spring!